Welcome to Military Minds. In this video, we're bringing you the 8 most insane canceled space weapons of the US military. Buckle up and let's go. Number 8. Orbital Mines, Co-ASAT. These orbital mines were designed to take out satellites by approaching them in space and physically colliding with them or using other means to disable or destroy them. Co-ASAT are launched into orbit from the ground and use propulsion systems to navigate to their target. But beware, these controversial weapons pose a number of technical, legal, and political challenges, including the risk of accidentally attacking non-military targets or debris, and the potential to violate international law or destabilize relations between nations. Co-ASAT may have been put on the shelf, but just imagine the effect of these orbital mines could have had on the world stage. These weapons would have been a formidable force to be reckoned with. But unfortunately, Co-ASAT faced a number of technical, legal, and political challenges, as well as budget constraints that ultimately led to their cancellation. Number 7. Space-Based Missile Interceptors, EKV-CE-2. Designed to detect and intercept incoming ballistic missiles before they reached their targets, these missiles were developed during the Cold War as a means of defense against nuclear attack. However, SBIs were ultimately canceled due to their prohibitive costs and limited effectiveness. As tensions rise and threats of missile attacks loom, the Pentagon is revisiting the concept of space-based missile defense systems. These advanced systems, such as Raytheon's previously tested Exo-Atomic Spheric Kill Vehicle Capability Enhancement 2, are capable of intercepting hostile missiles during their most vulnerable boost phase of flight before countermeasures can be deployed. By intercepting the missiles over the attacker's territory instead of the targeted state, the likelihood of success is significantly increased. With this in mind, it's clear that space-based missile defense systems could be a powerful tool in protecting us from the threat of missile attacks. Number 6. Space-Based Lasers, DoD's SBLP. This satellite-based laser system was proposed by the Department of Defense in 1982 and had the power to deliver devastating energy beams over incredible distances. The SBLP was intended to be used as a defense against ballistic missiles with the ability to destroy incoming threats from space before they reached their targets. Unfortunately, the SBLP was unable to overcome technical and cost issues and was ultimately canceled in 1985. Despite the failure of the program, the SBLP provided a valuable lesson in the need for careful consideration when developing complex defense systems. According to the Government Accountability Office, the program was too ambitious and ultimately proved to be unfeasible. While the SBLP may have been ahead of its time, it serves as a reminder of the challenges that can arise when attempting to develop innovative new technologies for military use. At number 5 are space-based particle beam weapons that are the ultimate game changer on the international stage. These directed energy weapons can deliver a powerful energy beam over vast distances, capable of taking out enemy targets with incredible accuracy and devastating force. Whether used to create a powerful deterrent against hostile forces or launch devastating attacks on distant targets, space-based particle beam weapons are a force to be reckoned with. Despite being attempted and canceled at the planning stage numerous times in the past, the U.S. military is once again exploring the potential of space-based particle beam weapons. These incredible weapons, which can deliver a powerful energy beam over vast distances, have the power to change the global stage with their ability to create a powerful deterrent against hostile forces or launch a devastating attack on distant targets. And it seems the military is taking them seriously. They have even tested a prototype called the Neutral Particle Beam, which can shoot down missiles from hundreds of miles away. Number 4. Orbital Kinetic Energy Weapon, Rods from God. The Rods from God is an insane kinetic bombardment weapon concept that will blow your mind. Developed by the U.S. Air Force in the early 2000s, this weapon uses a satellite to launch tungsten rods at high speeds towards targets on the ground, hitting with the equivalent force of a small nuclear weapon. And these rods are no ordinary projectiles. They're guided towards their target using GPS, meaning they can be launched from the satellite at any time from any location, making them virtually impossible to defend against. The Rods from God may never have made it off the drawing board, but just imagine the destruction they could have wreaked. This mind-blowing kinetic bombardment weapon concept was considered a potential weapon for use in a variety of scenarios, including taking out underground bunkers, disabling enemy air defense systems, and destroying enemy infrastructure. But alas, the Rods from God faced significant technical and logistical challenges and ultimately fell victim to the high costs and risks associated with their development and deployment. Number 3. Anti-Satellite Missiles, ASM-135 ASAT. The ASM-135 ASAT was a weapon of destruction developed by the U.S. Air Force in the 1980s. This ground-launched missile used a solid fuel rocket motor to propel itself into orbit, where it could track and target enemy satellites using radar and other sensors. Once it located its target, the ASM-135 could launch its high explosive warhead and completely destroy the satellite on impact. With its advanced guidance system and deadly payload, the ASM-135 was a formidable weapon in the fight against enemy satellites. The ASM-135 ASAT was a weapon of speed and efficiency designed to be launched on short notice in case of enemy satellite threats. It was also intended to be a cost-effective alternative to other space-based weapons, like space-based interceptor missiles and space-based lasers. Despite its potential, the ASM-135 ASAT never saw the light of day, and the program was ultimately canceled. Concerns about the weapon's effectiveness and the risk of escalating hostilities in space led to its demise. But fear not, the U.S. has recently pledged to refrain from developing or deploying anti-satellite missiles, working towards stability and cooperation among nations instead of an arms race in space. Number 2. Directed Energy Weapons Boost Defense Laser. This high-energy laser was developed as part of the Boost Defense program in the 1990s and was designed to be mounted on a satellite and used to shoot down enemy missiles during the boost phase of their flight. With its quick reaction capability and long-range defense against short and medium-range ballistic missiles, the BMD laser was a truly revolutionary weapon concept. It's a shame that the BMD laser never saw the light of day. This incredible weapon was tested in a series of demonstrations in the late 90s, but ultimately fell victim to cost and technical challenges. Can you imagine the impact this revolutionary technology could have had on global security? Unfortunately, we'll never know. Number 1. Space-based Electromagnetic Pulse Weapons High-Altitude Electromagnetic Pulse HEMP. This revolutionary weapon was developed as a concept in the 1960s and 1970s and was designed to be launched into space and detonated at high altitudes, with the resulting EMP blast being directed toward the Earth's surface. The HEMP device was intended to be a highly disruptive and destructive weapon that could be used to disable or destroy electronic systems and devices over a wide area, including enemy infrastructure and air defense systems. Unfortunately, the HEMP device was never meant to be. Despite its impressive capabilities, the HEMP device faced a number of technical, legal, and political challenges, and it is likely that the program was canceled at some point. Still, the HEMP device remains a fascinating example of the incredible potential of space-based weapons, and it's hard not to wonder what could have been if this incredible weapon had made it off the drawing board. Thank you for joining us on this journey through 8 insane canceled space weapons of the US military. Which of these canceled space weapons do you think was the most insane? Was it the orbital mines, or was it the space-based particle beam weapons? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe to Military Minds for more videos. Thanks for watching.